There's this notion out there that our economic problems are directly linked to the downturn in the 2007 economy and the ramifications of that thereafter, and that's certainly a part of it. But my argument is that what we're facing here is much deeper than that. It has to do with systemic changes in the very nature of our economy. It's a global economy, automation is real, and the result is that people have found jobs that they once relied on to get to the middle class. Those jobs have been outsourced, or those jobs have been turned into machines. And so my argument is the 21st century isn't just about challenges, it's also about opportunities. This new post-industrial economy creates very real opportunities. The problem we face is that we're facing the full brunt of the challenges, but we're not capitalizing on enough of those opportunities. And one of the reasons why is because our institutions, our laws, and Washington, D.C. has not caught up to that reality. We're still trying to treat this like a cyclical downturn as opposed to what it is, and that is a change in the very nature of our economic lives.
Well, some of the ideas you talk about, you put a tax overhaul on the table, certainly something we've heard from a lot of other Republicans, Dave Camp among them over in the House. How would you approach this issue differently than even, say, Dave Camp?
Well, let me just say again that I think that the fundamentals of what it takes to grow the economy and create opportunity are never going to change. They're based on three things: expanding access to markets, encouraging innovation, and encouraging investment. And so my question now is, in a globally competitive economy where there are more countries than ever trying to do what we've done in the past, how do we position America to be able to successfully compete? And so what we need, for example, on the tax code is a tax code that encourages companies to invest their profits back in the U.S. You look at the balance sheets of American corporations, they've never been healthier in terms of cash. But they're holding on to a lot of that cash. By some estimates, $4 to $5 trillion, which is shockingly the same as the size of the German economy, the fourth largest economy in the world. So if we had a corporate tax rate that encouraged in a corporate tax code that actually told companies, the more you invest, the less you're going to pay in taxes, that would encourage the creation of new businesses, the expansion of existing ones. The same with innovation. We have a regulatory framework that discourages innovation. It actually, in many instances, favors incumbent companies at the expense of those who might compete against them and create brand new ideas. And as far as market access is concerned, we need to open up more of our strategic advantages to sale, like natural gas and oil, but also free trade. I mean, we are only 4% of the world's population. If we want to dramatically grow the size of our economy, we have to sell to the other 96% in the world. And as more and more countries move towards free trade, it places our products at a competitive disadvantage.
How about immigration? It wasn't in your speech. I know you've talked a lot about it the last couple of years, perhaps at your political peril. Do you still believe, as President Obama does, that this could be one of the single most important growth engines for the U.S. economy?
I do, and the speech didn't mention it because the speech was designed to unveil new ideas, things I hadn't talked about in the past. So when I talk about a global competition, we're not just in global competition for investment. We're in global competition for talent. So think about it this way. If the number one pick in the NBA draft next year is from another country, there is no way in the world that person's going to have an immigration problem. We've never deported a 7'2" center. We've never deported the best point guard in America. We've never done that. If we wouldn't do that in sports, why would we do that to our economy? So we need to have an immigration system that is reformed so that it values the ability to contribute to our economy over what it's currently based upon, which is family reunification. And there's still going to be an element of that, but I think it has to be primarily about building our economy and bringing people here that can contribute and help build our economy. I certainly think we have to improve the ways in which we enforce our immigration laws. And we do have a problem with 12 million human beings that live in the U.S. illegally, and that has to be addressed. We're not going to round up and deport 12 million people. I think the debate is not even about that anymore. The debate is about what should the consequences be for having violated our immigration laws. What is the process by which you integrate these people fully into the American society and prevent this from happening again in the future? And that's what's proved politically difficult.
Do you think it happens this year? And do you have any regrets at all that you were playing point man, for lack of a better term?
No, I don't have any regrets. My only regret on immigration reform is we couldn't arrive at a solution that brought on board more people so that we could actually get it done. I think it's going to be very difficult now to do anything comprehensive in Washington. People don't like to hear this, but it's true, given the lack of trust in this president that particularly Republicans have. The argument that we continue to hear is, you're going to go ahead and do the legalization, but that's going to be linked to enforcement. But then the president is going to pick and choose which parts of the enforcement he moves forward on and which ones he doesn't. And we're going to end up with all of the legalization and only half or none of the enforcement.
How about Senator Schumer's idea you just extend this past this president's
term? Yeah, that's not a serious proposal, because in the interim what you're doing is you're leaving the problem unsolved for 2.5 years. So I think I have a better proposal. And my proposal is there's a bunch of things about immigration upon which there is not political controversy. Why don't we start doing those things? Why don't we modernize our legal immigration system? Why don't we improve our enforcement mechanisms? I think if we started to do that, you would create momentum, and I think you would create the political space and confidence we need to ultimately finish the job.